MotorWeek is made possible by Lucas Oil, TireRack.com, and RockAuto.com.
So on with the show, and we're going to start off with this all-new 700 Series Volvo wagon. Now, the old familiar 200 Series Volvo wagon accounts for about 30% of Volvo's U.S. sales, and they have helped to make Volvo a household word here. Well, the brand new 700 Series doesn't replace the old wagons, but they will fill a whole new gap in the wagon market. First, we've got to get the designation straight. The new wagons are based on the rear-drive 700 Series sedans first introduced in 1982. There will be 5 different wagon models, 3 740s and 2 top-of-the-line 760s. For our test, we've zeroed in on the 740 turbo gas automatic. Now, that's the car Volvo expects to sell more of than any other, and this one also replaces the current turbo wagon. Like all Volvo wagons, the 700s have plenty of room. But with the rear seat folded down, this 740 has 5 cubic feet less cargo area than the venerable 200 Series wagons. So why would one buy one of these wagons? Well, for the same reason people buy a lot of things these days: upwardly mobile appeal. The 200 wagons have a working class past, but the 700s are just made for the good life. Even the lowest line model comes with a leather interior, air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, and a sunroof as standard. Understated luxury abounds. The overall passenger room for 5 adults is very good. Again, compared to the 200 Series wagons, our 740 had a bit more front room some places, like for the legs and shoulders, and a bit less in others, like down at the hips. The seats are traditional Volvo too, with orthopedically designed cushions. They were great over long trips. However, also as always, they were very flat, and you did tend to slide off them in turns. Also, they are hard to adjust for height and could stand a bit more rear travel. The rear seat is highly versatile, with a 60/40 fold-down configuration. That enables you to haul long, thin items and still seat 2 out of 3. Rear head and legroom is also good. The dash is wide, well laid out, with good placement of controls and oodles of air vents. Gauges are backlit for easy night reading on the 740, but you'll look in vain for an oil pressure gauge. Despite the 700 wagon's cushy country club breeding, our 740 Turbo is no sissy, and that's partially due to Volvo's 2.3-liter turbo 4-cylinder. It's intercooled and makes 160 horsepower. That translates into sports sedan performance with a dash through the quarter mile of a fast 18 seconds at 79 miles per hour. With our car's automatic, that's impressive. The standard manual might have been a second better. The automatic found in the 740-760 gas turbos has a lockout for the top overdrive gear. Shifts are crisp yet smooth. 0 to 60 figures were also above average at 10.8 seconds. Indeed, Volvo says the 700 wagons can do anything their sedan relatives can, and it sure feels that way. In hard maneuvers, you never get the sense that you're driving a station wagon. There's lots of body roll. That's typical for Volvos, but the rear end stays put, while the front end plows mildly. The 740 Turbo wagon comes with wider wheels and tires than the standard 740, 195/60 15 inchers. It also gets a thick front anti-sway bar. Overall, the Turbo feels more sure-footed than any Volvo wagon to date, but quicker steering and more road feel would make it an even sportier sport wagon. Ditto a Positraction differential for its old-fashioned but well-designed solid rear axle. That back axle does have disc brakes to complement the ventilated disc brakes on the front. Translation, short stops, and they were straight for the most part, despite some rear wheel lockup. The pedal feels firm, but it is a little touchy. From 55, stops averaged a very respectable 112 feet. The EPA rates the Volvo 740 gas turbo at 19 city and 23 highway. We got a real-world figure of 24, and you could expect the base 740 or the turbo diesel models to do a bit better. And to keep that figure high on long trips with luggage, Volvo has designed an aerodynamic luggage and ski rack. It's an option for the buyer who already has everything. So what we have here is another very comfortable, solid, expertly engineered wagon from Volvo. And while it may be a bit too fancy for some suburban missions, we feel bad about loading the 700 with anything but the cleanest cargo. It will do well in the upper echelon wagon sphere against the Audi 5000 S-Wagon and Mercedes 300 TD. Which brings us to the price for the 700 series Volvo wagon, and it is high. $19,360 for the least expensive 740 and $21,832 for our car. But while that's a bit more than the Audi, it's a lot less than the Mercedes. However, will owners of the just as versatile but stoic 200 series wagon be impressed? Well, we took a little unofficial poll, and to a 1, it was a yes. So high-buck bulk carrier or not, the Volvo 740-760 wagon looks like a big hit.